Hey guys, I'm so sorry about that. I think Amrut was supposed to run this session and he was facing some internet issues. So this is Chitiz, right? I will take it from here. Uh, all right. I hope everyone can hear me fine, right? So I'll just get started. So I know Amrut might have covered some of these slides, but I will just going to repeat this just to make sure we are on the same page. Uh, so like the idea about this Pardot, right? So as you know, like we are in this session, we are covering Pardot. And as you know, like Pardot is a marketing tool, right? Now, when we say marketing, what exactly is marketing? Okay. So when it comes to marketing, marketing is nothing but like, how you basically, I would say, capture a customer, right? How you capture the customer attention. So whether you are running a like an online store, whether you're running a physical store, whether you're running a car dealership, how you are actually, I would say, engaging a customer to come to your store, come to your college or come like, come to your premise, right? That is all about marketing. So if you see here, like here we are trying to explain like what are the like what is the funnel for a marketing. So you start with a visit. So either it's a visit to your website, either it's a visit to your store, either it's a visit to like your college, right? You like someone make a visit, they leave a form like they fill out a inquiry form, right? Which means you got a lead. Once you have a lead, like at that point, like you start marketing with them. So I'm sure, like for example, there is a new sale, right, on Amazon, right? So first, you start seeing a lot of ads on let's say social media or on television and all, for upcoming, let's say sale, right, on Amazon. Okay. So while we do that, someone comes to your website, and as soon as they come to your website and fill out the form, you basically get a marketing qualified lead, right? Which means someone has filled out a form, they have provided you information, so you have the information, right? Now it's up to you how you basically sell it to them, right? So let's say they were browsing a shoe, right? Like a particular shoe from Nike, right? So it is now up to Amazon how they keep on engaging you till the point you actually go ahead and buy that shoe, right? So once they actually show an interest to buy it, that becomes like a sales accepted leads. And then as soon as they make the purchase, they become a customer, right? So this is a typical life cycle of a sales, like because again, these days there are so many options out there that it is first very hard to get the customer to your website or to your store. And secondly, of course, to make a purchase, right? So again, how the marketing is used, as I said, like let's say I want to launch a new store of let's say Techila footwear, right? So in order to launch the store, I have to do like multiple things, right? First of all, I can start a physical store in a particular location. I can let's say have an online catalog. I can have a website. I can run some website ads. I can run some Google ads, right, or Facebook ads, right? I can send some blast emails, right? I can run some TV ads. I can run some radio ads, right, or social media ads, right? So these are all the channels which are available for me in order to circulate our promotion, right? So this is the typical life cycle of a marketing, okay? And when I say marketing automation, right? So I said there are like 10 different channels, right? But how we can automate them, how we can make sure that all these channels, like happens automatically. Like as I mentioned, the example of Amazon, right? So I'm sure if you accidentally, go to Amazon site, right, and you see a product, I'm sure for next 30 days you keep on seeing that product, and everywhere you go, right? Whether you open a YouTube ad, you might see that product. Whether you open a let's say a website, you'll see an ad on the right side. Whether you open a Gmail account, you might see that ad, right? So basically they kind of chase you to a point where eventually you make a purchase or you don't make a purchase, right? So that is called like marketing automation, right? How you keep on engaging them, whether you are sending them like personalized emails, whether you're sending them personalized SMS messages, whether you're sending them like personalized ads, right? So this is all about marketing automation, okay? And I would say this is very very effective, like in current days, because as I mentioned, the competition is very high, right? There are like so many options for a single thing, right? So how do you differentiate yourself is all about how you do like marketing, right? How effective you can do a marketing, okay? So so for this, of course, like there are multiple tools out there, right? However, like we are a Salesforce partner and we majorly work on Salesforce tool. So Salesforce have two tools. One is Pardot and one is Marketing Cloud. Okay. Now the good thing is like Marketing Cloud and Pardot are almost same, but they are targeting a different kind of user base, right? Uh, Pardot is more B2B, which means business to business, and Marketing Cloud is more B2C, which is business to consumers. So for example, as I was saying, Amazon, right? So Amazon is more built for consumers, right? Where you are selling a product to an end customer. Okay. But talking about B2B, right? So let's say you are selling, let's say, industrial equipments, right? For example, you are selling large, like cranes and, large equipments, heavy equipments, right? So in that case, your target is more businesses, right? So let's say if I'm selling equipment for a construction company, then my end customers are uh, construction companies, right? If I'm selling, let's say, equipments, like medical equipments, then my target audience is either like a clinic, or a hospital, right? So for that, we basically use Pardot. So Pardot is called B2B marketing tool. B2B means business to business, right? Where you are a business and you are selling to a business. Okay. I know some people are confused. Why not marketing cloud, or what's the difference, right? So again, very major difference is marketing cloud is built more for business to consumers, and this is built more for business to business, B2B. Okay. And secondly, like as I mentioned, like you can reach the customers from right channels, right time, using emails, SMS, social ads, and everything. Okay. Uh, and then, you can, it's just like a software as a service, right? So what software as a service means is that, you can actually, so it is like, imagine like at the house, everyone has electricity, right? Everyone has electricity at home, right? Now, how you pay for it is like, the amount of energy you use in a month, right? You pay accordingly. So if you only use, let's say, two fans, right? So you only pay for, two fans bill, whatever it's the consumption is of the power, right? If you use like maybe 10 different air conditioners and, heaters and whatnot, so your bill comes accordingly, right? So it is pay as you go, right? It's a software as a service, and which means there is no like heavy, I would say cost, upfront. Okay. I do see some questions coming. I would like to keep the questions for the end, if you don't mind. Next is, Amrut, did you join back?
Yes, yes, I'm here. Is it
Perfect.
clear now?
It is clear. Yeah. Thank you for that. Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm just
thank you.
continuing. So,
Yeah,
right. So, so I was explaining, what Pardot is, and now very important is why Pardot, right? So again, as I mentioned, like there are so many tools out there. Why Pardot is really good, right? So first of all, it is all about, it is very very easy to use, right? Like anyone who doesn't even know how to use Pardot, it is like, I would say, as simple as using Facebook or Gmail or LinkedIn, right? So which means you will understand most of the things automatically. Okay, this thing is built for what, it is not very confusing, it is very minimal. Okay. uh, Secondly, like there is an in-depth process, prospect tracking, which means that, as I was telling you, right, if someone visits your website, okay, or someone fills out a form, over the whole life cycle of a person, like right from he visiting your website for the first time till the time he makes a purchase, you can actually track each and every action. You can track each and every touch points. Whether did he visit your social media page, did he visit your website, did he interacted with your ad, did he interacted with your case study, did he download something, right? You can actually track each and everything. Okay, which means at the end, when the customer is almost ready to make a purchase, you already know the whole history of the person, ki what he was doing, at your website, what products he was interested in, what kind of orientation he has regarding sales. So everything you'll actually automatically know, right? uh, and then of course, lead nurturing, right? So as I mentioned, if someone visits a website and then he never logs back, for example, you can still keep on engaging him by sending him some personalized emails, some birthday emails, some SMS messages and all, so you can basically keep on nurturing them, till the time they make a purchase, right? Prospect grading, right? Prospect grading means, like again, you might have like say 100,000 people visiting your website, right? But how will you know which prospect or which person is actually the most effective one? Who is more inclined towards buying something, right? That is basically scoring. So we are going to cover that in upcoming slides, how we can actually score a prospect depending on different rules. Okay. And then sales and marketing collaboration, that is very, very important. I'm not sure how many of you on this webinar are from uh, you know from a background of Salesforce. But basically, Pardot is a Salesforce tool, right? Which means that it pretty much integrate with Salesforce. So that means whenever you are making a, like when a sales team reach out to someone, they actually knows, like who is like what is the interaction, what journey is there for the customer, what customer intention was, in the past. And of course ROI and pipeline reporting, which means that as I mentioned, all these channels like Facebook ads or Google ads or email marketing are all costly, right? So how you can basically link back your ROI, your return on investment, on how much money you're putting on different channels, and you can evaluate those, and you can find out, like which channel is good and which channel is bad, right? That is the more important thing. So for example, like let's say I open a new university, right? I open a new college, and I have to go out and look for students, right? So it is again a business, right? I have to get students. So for doing that, as I mentioned, like you can do like 10 different channels, right? You can do a paper ad, you can do a TV ad, you can do Facebook ads, you can do a Google ads, you can do blast email marketing, you can put your college booth in some other conferences, right? So you can use multiple channels to promote your college, brand new college, right? So in the end, as and when the students start registering, as and when they start coming to your website or they start registering, now you can actually track which channel is giving you the most output, right? Which channel is really effective, right? Because sometimes like initially, let's say my budget for the marketing was, let's say, $10,000, right? And let's say I put $1,000 for each in 10 different channels. But now after 1 month I realized that, hey, Facebook is giving me the most output, right? Or Google is giving me the most output. So what I can do is I can actually shut down the other channels, and I can only keep the major channels, which are let's say Facebook and Google, right? So how you can track what is working and what is not working is very important. And lastly, of course, like Salesforce integration, right? As I mentioned, you can integrate everything. And these are some of the companies. Again, there are thousands of companies with Pardot. So these are some examples, like some companies using it. I know some people are asking for some real world examples as well. So there are, if you go to pardot.com, you can see a lot of use case studies of the companies who are using it and how they're using it. Okay. So Amrut, why don't you take it from here?
Your screen is freezed, I think.
Right.
So I see the side why say yes. So why learn Salesforce? Yes, yes, it is now. So the thing is like topic is like why learn Salesforce Pardot? So Pardot is a powerful B2B platform. So when I say B2B, it is like business to business. So as example, like you are a manufacturing company, you have products that would be utilized by other manufacturing company, like they would be requiring those. So you would target these companies. So these are known as your prospects in Pardot. You'll have to grade them, you will have to score them, and on these basis on this you'll have the MQLs as discussed. It is easy drag and drop platform, like you don't need any coding language. It is simple drag and drop. The journeys, the engagements, all the scoring methodologies you create would be simple drag and drop on the canvas. As I said, no coding language required. So there is no coding to create and implement things in Pardot, right? So you can actually drag everything and it would work. It has excellent lead management capability. So when I say excellent lead management capability, that means you know each stage, each micro level activity of each lead or prospect. So everyone in Pardot is called as prospect. So if the prospect is visiting your website, he'll get points, or the points would be added. If the prospect is filling on the form, 50 points would be added. So now you would know all of the activities, you'll know the interest of your prospect. So what product is he really interested in? How much time he is spending? So this accurate information gives you capability to target him and pass the correct information, right? And as I said, the analytics or the reporting is very good. You always get to know which are the hot prospects, which are most interested based on scores, profiles, and you can know the passive or cold prospect which you can retarget or you can remove from the system, right? So if someone is not responding, you can either stop the communication so that you can save on the expenses also. And then scoring and grading is the most. So when I say, like, the question was what is the difference between Marketing Cloud and Pardot? So Pardot has scoring model, it has grading model that is not available in Marketing Cloud. You need to custom build it. But still, Pardot is very good at B2B in scoring and grading. Right? Then
Right.
we'll see. Yeah. Yes.
We are going to cover like different modules of Parrot in this session, right? Again, just to let you know, this session is more about the overview of Parrot. But the good thing is we have a series of workshops which are starting from, I think, next week. We'll be sharing all the communication with you. But the idea is not just to tell you what Parrot is, but also to help you learn how to use Parrot or how to become a Parrot admin, right? So in this session, we are going to cover like mostly around what are the different modules of Pardot, right? The major modules, and then in the workshops, we are also going to give you hands-on on each of them. Okay. So I can start with the first one, which is prospects, right? Um, so prospect is something which is visible in Pardot like this. If this is how Pardot looks like, and on the left side, you can click on prospects, which will show you the list of prospect. Okay. Now, what is prospect, right? So, as I was mentioning, let's say if I'm running let's say I'm running a heavy equipment, a company, right? Or let's take example of I'm running Amazon, right? So for Amazon, if someone is coming to a website and fill a form, right? So at the moment he fill out a form or he fill out anything, his email ID or something, I capture his data, right? So it becomes a prospect to me, right? So now you see, like when someone comes in, he comes with a score, and as and when he keeps on interacting, his score will increase, right? So prospect is nothing but a lead, which will eventually be converting to a deal, which will eventually buy something for you, right? So this is like a very very warm lead, which can purchase something, which cannot purchase something. So that is called as prospect, right? Um, yeah, Amrut, you want to take this one?
Yes, sure. So list management. So list management is like we have group of prospects. So list is group of prospects. So it is collection of prospects. So we store. There are two types of list. One is static, another is dynamic, right? So these static lists are based on rules. Like we can have rules or criteria. For example, if the age is between 100, gender is equal to male, or based on interest as well. So these static list does not change. So if we have a list created, it has 5,000 subscribers or 5K subscribers, it would stay same, right? It would add up when we refresh it manually. But dynamic list, or these lists have rules or criteria, those change or those are constantly changing based on the criteria or the rules that we apply. Like if we say city is equal to Pune, right? So whenever there is a new prospect, his city is equal to Pune, he would be added to this dynamic list automatically. Or whenever the city is changed from Pune to any other city like Mumbai, this prospect would be automatically removed from this dynamic list. So you can create dynamic list, you can create static and store the subscribers. And this list
Right.
would be again used to send campaigns like emails. Yeah.
Right. So just to give an example, right? So we take the example of Amazon, right? So we know that again, let's say a study says that women are more inclined towards buying something versus men, right? So in that case, what we can do is we can create a list on the basis of gender, right? So we can have one list which is just for men, one list which is just for women. Okay. Now, some people say that people are more inclined to buy if they are, let's say, youths, so up to, let's say, 30 years, right? So maybe 20 to 30 years. So we can create another segregated list, which is only for women who are 20 to 30 years, right? So like that, we can actually automatically create different list, which is like a static list or dynamic list, and that list can be targeted. So in that case, you're not spending a lot of money on multiple audience, right? So you only segregate your audience to a certain limit, and that's how you can target them. So that is list management. So this is how you can do. You can create a list here. We can apply the filters, and on the basis of that, it can create a list. Next is, and before Pardot forms, actually, I will quickly skip to landing pages, right? So landing pages, what are landing pages, right? So, for example, as I mentioned, like there is a ad coming for Amazon sale, upcoming sale, right? So when you click on it, it doesn't take you usually to the homepage of Amazon, right? What it does, it takes you to a page which is a landing page for that particular sale. So you see all the data of that sale on the left side, and on the right side you might see a form, right? So similarly, let's say for example in this scenario, this landing page where themselves are running an ad for their Facebook ads, right? So if you click on it, you open this kind of page where you can fill in the form, right? So this is how you can create like a landing page, where a landing page can help you to uh, you know uh, put it on your to capture the information by passing all the information on a single page. So those are landing page. But what also happens is, sometimes the landing, like, a customer is using their own website, right? So part of landing page are actually hosted on their particular platform, right? Which means they're using their own styling. Okay. But if you want to create a landing page which looks like your own website, right? Your own website, so customer doesn't feel that they are on a very different website or a very different page, right? So for that, you can actually create a form. So like this is an example where this is Techila website, our website, and this is a landing page which we have created, which is a custom page in which we have integrated a Pardot form. So when you click on it, on the right side, you see a form, and that form is actually nothing but a Pardot form. So when you fill it, the lead or prospect comes to Salesforce or in Pardot, right? And so you are not creating the whole landing page in Pardot, but you are only creating a form in Pardot. Okay. So this is what, if I go back, so this is what a form is, right? So I think, Amrut, you can take the automation rules, or I would say before automation rule, you can actually, yeah, you can take automation rule. Go ahead.
Okay. So let's talk about automation rules. So automation rules are used whenever you want to repeat some activity, or you want to send, let's say you want to send an auto response to your new signups, like you sign up on our webinar and you receive email instantly. That is an automation. That is called as autoresponder, right? So basically, automation rules allow you to perform the marketing activities repeatedly. So it allows you to create a rule that would evaluate a prospect based on the criteria you define. Like if I say, like we had the clothing example, right? So females are more inclined towards online buying. So we can have those automations in place where we would be saying like gender is equal to female, add this prospect to a specific list, like female clothing list, right? So this is one automation. Similarly, you can have automations based on prospect values or prospect fields. Like for your sales team, if the value of the prospect of the city is Canada or the country is Canada, you can have these prospects into that Canada list, and your sales teams now can target these prospects. If the country is United States, you'll have, or this automation would add this prospect to another list You can assign this to a sales representative. You can create a Salesforce task. So based on rules, there are actions, right? So now you can see we have prospect has registered for a webinar. Now we are sending him an email and we are updating a field as well. So this automatically runs, evaluates on every day. So every day the automation rule would run. Every day the new prospect would be matched to the criteria and they would be added to the actions, like adding to a list, sending an email, creating a Salesforce task, and also you can add up the score also. Like if I say someone is visiting my specific page on my website, I want to add 50 points. Or so whenever someone or the known prospect is visiting the specific page, the automation would add the 50 point automatically. So this is all about automation. Right.
Right. And right. Coming to Engagement Studio, right? So as I mentioned, like the best part with Pardot is you can actually create the whole journey of how you can actually going to market a prospect, right? So how you start from a prospect coming in, right? How you can send him the first email, then you can probably, if he fills the form or he opens the email, then you can do something. If he doesn't open an email, you can do something else, right? So setting up this whole like journey, like you can even put like a wait, so when they open the first email, you can wait for, let's say, 10 days, right? And send a second email, right? Or if they put it, like if they don't open your email, then you can send something else. If it goes to spam, you can do something else, right? So the whole journey, how you can actually engage a customer just to make sure he who actually opens the email or he actually engages, that is all about the engagement. Again, we are going to cover this in details in our upcoming sections, because this is very very powerful tool, when it comes to Engagement Studio, how you can actually engage the whole life cycle of a prospect. Okay, so we talked about landing pages. The last is like lead scoring, which again Amrut covered a bit, right, in the automation. So Amrut, do you want to cover this lead scoring? Amrut?
Yes, I would. Yes, yes, I would. Is it audible?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay. So let's talk about lead scoring. Lead scoring. So lead scoring is nothing but I want to track my prospect. I want to track his activities, what he is doing. Is he visiting my website? Is he filling the form? Is he opening the emails that I send? So this analysis would give me, or I would be, it would enable me to check his interest, right? So it automatically tracks the engagement of the prospects, and there is a default scoring. So this is what you see is a default scoring. You can change it as well. So now if someone is clicking on the redirect link, we'll add 3 points. If someone is submitting a form on my landing page or a website, 50 points would be added. Someone is checking my website, viewing the pages or having those pages viewed would add 1 point. Right? So if someone is watching the video, I could track that as well. So I could add up to around 25 points. So the total score now, it is like a total mark sheet or something like that. So total score gives me an idea if this person is really interested in the product or a service. Like I could say a marketing qualified lead, wherein if I say if someone reaches a score of 100, this person is really interested. Let's call him marketing qualified lead, and now we'll pass this marketing qualified lead to our sales team to engage this prospect more into a service or into conversion. Let's say I want to sell him something. Either I might give some discounts, I might try something, some promotions, I will try to convert him. So this scoring is really important. It gives me a blueprint of the prospect, of his activities, right?
Right. So yeah, so actually you can score the prospects, right? And on the basis of score, you can actually find, which is the hot prospect and which is the cold prospect, right? And depending on that, your team can put proper efforts, all right?
Yes. So
Um,
now,
and
like, yes.
yeah, I can cover
Yep.
this. So the last part, which comes to this is like like you have run everything, right? But how then, and as I said, like it's all about ROI, right? How you how you basically find, like how is your marketing engagement is going on, what are the ROI, is it really working out, how's your customer distributed, how's your how's the interaction with the customer, everything, right? So for that, what Salesforce has done is like they have recently introduced this B2B marketing analytics, which actually integrates with Einstein. So you can actually use the Einstein, to Einstein is nothing but like an AI tool of Salesforce. So you can actually use the AI to run the reports, to do some prediction analysis, right? So the tool itself will tell you where you should put more energy on. So which is very, very, I would say, important. And you can see the whole end-to-end dashboard in one place, right? So this is like one example of a B2B dashboard where you can see like how from where your leads are coming from, what's the revenue generated from each channel. So now you can see like this webinar is like say, the most I would say effective one, right? Event is nothing but webinar, right? Or social media is more effective. So what I can see is like I can actually spend more time and energy on the setting up those webinars, setting up the social media and all. Okay. So again, I know like this session might be too much for someone who doesn't know what marketing is and what Pardot is, right? But basically, as we mentioned, like we try to cover most of the things to tell you what exactly is in Pardot. And in the upcoming sessions, we are going to show you like each modules one by one, right? So if you see what next, so we have some sessions which are coming up. We have divided into 4 sessions. One is where we only talk about the prospects and list management. In session 2, we talk about the campaigns and pilot forms. The third one, we go with setting up automations and engagement studio. And the fourth one is landing pages. Okay. And, and we will be posting you all those sessions, upcoming sessions. You can check them on our Facebook page, on LinkedIn page, and our even we have created a WhatsApp group, which I think most of you are already part of it. If not, we can send you the link again and you can register on that. So we can keep you posted on each and every upcoming session, right? So one thing which before we go to the Q&A, one thing which I do want to mention very important is right now there are actually way more demand of Pardot than supply, which means that I think what people don't realize is like this is a very, very open area of a very open market where people need Pardot experts, but there are not many developers in Pardot. So what companies do is they have to train people from scratch, right? And if you are a fresher or if you are working as a data marketer or if you have some if you want to do something where you don't like to code, right, but you still want to uh, be an expert on something, then Pardot is a great tool for you where you can actually run it uh, for for a client. You can also run it for your company, right? And it can give you a lot of insights, like it can pretty much be your marketing like a buddy, right? So I would like to open this remaining 10 minutes. I'm not again so apologize, for running late on this webinar. There were some technical difficulties, but I hope we were able to give you some insights on what Pardot is. And we would like another 10 minutes to post any open questions. There'll be a Q&A session on the bottom of your screen. You can put a question and we'll love to answer those. All right. And I do already see some questions. Amrut, do you want to start taking those questions?
Yes, I will. So Priyanka is asking what is ROI. So ROI is return on investment. So whatever you expend or whatever you spend on marketing activities, ROI gives you the idea like how much return on investment you have. So if you are spending $5,000 on your marketing activities and what revenue is generated on this 5,000, that is an ROI, right? Then there is a question like, do we have any training or for Pardot? So I think you would answer this question. So do we have any training org for Pardot? Okay. Then please share the WhatsApp group link. Yes, I have already shared it. And links to learn Pardot. So those would be shared when we start the workshops, right? When we start the workshop, I'll share you the trailhead links and the resources as well. Is it free to use? This is not free to use. You need to pay. The minimum is around $12.50 per month. It is not like Salesforce free developer account. You'll not get a free account of Pardot. You need to buy, or you need to have it from a partner company like us. Guys, how much time, Sharad is asking, like how much time is it takes to master Pardot and the average salary in India. So the time, I could say it is hardly a month or something if you study, practice, and do it well. And average salary always depends on your experience, on how many implementation you have done, and the certifications as well. Okay. Okay, sir, are you here? Hello. I think, guys, you need to type in questions. Okay, what is the different? Can someone who is in marketing job pursue this as a career option? Yes, the answer is yes. You can pursue it. Is no, like, you don't need any coding. There is no coding required. You need to understand the functionalities, the marketing activities, and yes, you can do that. In experience, so I'm from non-IT background, having 3.5 years of experience in training industry. So which module should I go for? So there is Pardot is omni-channel tool, right? So there are no modules. The module would be like Pardot email specialist. That is, you should be able to handle everything in Pardot. That is from scoring to engagement, from list management to email and landing pages creation.
Right. I do see a question as well from someone who's asking if there are any openings for Pardot, right? So yes, we do have an openings, multiple openings actually for Pardot and Marketing Cloud as well as Salesforce in our organization, and that's the whole reason of conducting these sessions is like we want to give some free trainings and at least workshops so that we have people who are really interested in and who are really showing some efforts, so we can also hire them. So the idea of that is of course giving the because it's not just we hiring them but also you can be become market ready, right? So once you finish all the workshops we'll be also giving like a completion certificate, and for the top performance we can even give some vouchers. Okay, so once you do all these things, if you're really good we can consume that in our company as well. I also see like one question around what is a better career option, Salesforce admin or Salesforce developer. So again, that's not relevant for this session, but still I would like to answer like Salesforce developer is actually a better option because especially in India, if you're in India, then it should be developer. If you're in US, then admin is fine. But in India, actually, the more demand or the actual need is actually in terms of development. I would say admins are at very low pay scales, and they remain on that. Like there are not much growth on that. But if you are a real coder, if you can really program, then you should go for development. Okay, admins are good if you can move your role to becoming like a business analyst or a project manager. Then admin is fine. But if you want to be a developer, then you have to be a developer. You cannot skip that. You cannot skip coding if you want to be a Salesforce developer. Uh, right. I think we are almost at the end of the hour, right? I'm sure there might be a lot of questions to ask, right? So what we've also done is like Amrut has also just shared that links right in the chat, okay, for everyone, and uh, like you can use that link to join the WhatsApp group. And we are also, if you go to our website page Techila Academy, you can actually see the upcoming workshops, and we can also share those links with you. So if you would like everyone to join those. And now one thing which is a bit unfortunate is like Pardot is not free, right? Which means Pardot, you cannot have like a free account, right? But the good thing is theoretically, one, you can learn this, and secondly, um we as a partner have Pardot access, right? So for I would say top performance and all, we are happy to even create a login for you, for a user for you, where you can play around with it and you can learn it. But we are limited, we have limited license for that. So, but we can give you the access to it. I think Nivedha asks how different is Pardot from Salesforce Admin. It's completely different. Pardot is a marketing tool. Salesforce is a CRM tool. All right. I hope I have, we have answered everyone's questions. If any questions are left, feel free to reply to the same email through which you got the email confirmation, or you can, as I said, reply on WhatsApp, and we will get those answered. So thank you so much, for sticking with us, even after technical difficulties,
Yeah,
and
thank you so
hope
much,
to see you
guys.
soon in sessions. Yeah. Please join the other sessions. We really want to not give you just the idea of the Pardot, but also train you on that, which means you can say that I know Pardot rather than I know what Pardot is. Okay. Thank you so much, guys. Have a good one.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.